Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's week ahead video, where we will be going over the various pairs that we look at. We'll be identifying where we are in that market cycle. That is the bedrock of the approach, and identifying any harmonic patterns or entries allowing us into that trend. So before doing so, I must read out this risk warning, and that trading with margin is extremely high risk. These trade signals are not to be taken as advice because you're not going to be given any protection if you were to complain. So ultimately, the trade signals are unregulated, meaning as a retail client, you don't have the ability to complain to the financial ombudsman or to get compensation from the compensation services scheme. Putting that aside, let's crack on. We've had really good past couple of months. Last month we had 2 losses. This month we haven't had any yet, believe it or not, which is quite a feat. I'm really pleased with that. And where should we start? Let's start at AUD CAD. So AUD CAD, we sent this Gartley out, pinpoint, really nice move. Gave us 80 pips, nearly TP2. 60 pips, not bad. So we took the D point. We actually took this D point, got a nice move, and then it came back. That is a Gartley pattern, folks. That is a Gartley pattern. The common characteristic is the ABCD feature and a Fibonacci. Never quite met the 78.6, but still the structure was there. You could have taken the measurement, if I show you here, off the butt of the, if I can move, and you can see it gets a bit closer. It depends if you go wick to wick or you go body to body. Either way, it still didn't meet the proper retracement, but if you think trading's going to be exact every time, that's where you're going to be mistaken. It never really looks perfect. This was perfect, but the 78.6 was missing. What else can we see from this chart? We have to go out a little bit more now. So for me, this market cycle, let me just clear this chart up a bit because there could be a bit of conflicting going on. So a big Gartley, which you can see, led to this sell-off, led to this sell-off. But the main point to try and impress on you is that I'm trading. This is something I'm going to get. I've never got a tattoo, not planning on getting a tattoo, but I want to get this tattoo to the back of my eyelids so I can watch and never forget this pattern. This pattern is the key to everything, in my opinion, and I've been looking at markets a long time. You can see it everywhere on any time frame. You can see it here in front of you in the blue. You can see it here in the red. But the conjecture is this is the first zone. Is this the second zone and that's the third? But I don't believe that's the third. I still believe this is part of the second zone. What we are seeing is ascending high highs and high lows. So we have a change, we have a nice break, and now we expect some sort of a bottom to come in. Now, what do we have here? We don't really have much to go on here. So we're going to have to wait for some action. I personally favor taking out the previous lower high and seeing what we can build from there. So moving on, ADCHF is a real dinosaur in terms of it's been hanging around for a long time at these lows, and there is an absolute battle going on at the minute, which is quite clear to see. You have this shoulder, head and shoulder formation, and the market is literally at the point of either going to play out the head and shoulders or snatch it away. So using tools available to me and evidence, I can see that the true neckline of this pattern hasn't broken structure yet. Why do I say it hasn't broken structure? Because the main last line in the sand defense is here. All of these candles are still touching this line, every single one of them. So until that breaks, I need to see 2 clear candles pull away from to make me sure that we have broken. So at the minute, that's on the last line of defense. Now back to the rationality of thinking that they're fake head and shoulders. So you would often see head and shoulder patterns in the wrong areas to simply take liquidity from retail clients that have all got their stops above here, 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 and here. The market, in my eyes, remember this pattern, has done this downside leg here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3 hits to the low. I think this is a massive W pattern in the making. I think there's going to be some really weak Swiss franc news. This is always one that I've got my eye on. Optimal entry, generational trade, if it plays out. Okay, so AUD, NZD, this has been an ugly pattern, one that I haven't really taken to. I've taken trades on it, don't get me wrong, but I haven't positioned myself for this short. That's how I think it's going to play out. You can see the market cycle on the way up. 1, 2, 3. And you can see it. This is a massive one. We're still pretty high. We haven't had any sort of retest, but we've definitely broken this. And whenever you break something, you retest it. I think the market's basically going to retest the break. That's normally what happens. It's called a break and retest for a reason. Real breaks of structure often retest. I've got my retest up there waiting for something. It's just like casting out the fishing line, seeing if you get any bites. Okay, let's look at this guy. This is another absolute belter. So the market cycle diagrams in front of you. We are here at the minute. You can see it 1, 2, and I expect price to break this. But the fact in this last leg down, we have 1, 2, 3. We also have this double bottom. We had a change, and now I want to see a break of structure higher. Beautiful structure. We had 1, we had 2, and now we can definitely see a 1, 2, 3, and it wanted to come all the way down here just to clear these lows to make sure no one else is hitching a ride. So now I want to wait for the last lower high to be taken out, and I'll start building my case. Until then, we wait. Euro AUD, this is another really nice setup that we posted actually in the 2 groups, the premium and the standard. Premium got it earlier, so the trades actually played out. They managed to get their pips away. Standard, we got it later, and we're underwater by about 15 at the minute. Ultimately, the 2 groups are a reflection of my entries, personal entries. So premium is my first entry, and standard is my second entry. And let's have a look what's going on here. So we've had a bit of a break and retest of this area. Let me just highlight it. Let's have a look at what we've done over here to it. Just shy of retesting it anyhow. Right, now there's an ABCD here, and we're on that point. This wick here, we definitely come back into retest. Let me check it on the 4. First of all, cast your eyes on that, feast on that. This pattern will come back down to here at some point because this trades off the 50, but when you see your setup, you have to take it. If you get stopped out, 0.5% of your account. It's no big deal. As long as you're doing 2 to 1, 3 to 1, even 1 to 1, you can take the odd loser. Don't worry about that. Not that we've had one for a while. So we have 1, we have 2, and we're breaking out for 3. And if we zoom in a little bit more, we are not retested structure properly, which is a slight alarm bell for me because I do like a good old structure retest. But what I can see here is we've had a week of rise, we've had a second week of rise, and then we've had a rise drop, rise no net. So we had to have 3 new highs. But the variation, the way this ended on a no net, I've just got to delete some, bear with me because I've got too many lines on the chart and it's just reminded me that I can't. So I need to delete some off somewhere. Where can I delete those? Delete them all off gold. I don't want to do gold. Bear with me, folks. 1 second. Do that one. There we go. What the hell's all that? No net, which means it started and closed at the same place. When you get a no net, you get a rise typically followed. But let's look at the structure. Why am I interested in this? It's not visible on the 1 hour. I don't use the 1 hour too often. I use the 30 minutes as my entries. But you can absolutely see what I'm looking for here. We got the A, B, C, D, high, lower high, but the break of structure here is important. We have broken structure here, broken, retested. So this was the break. This isn't a valid break. This is a trap. This is the next break. And now we're expecting higher highs and higher lows to continue. It looks good. Moving on. EuroCAD. So another absolute proponent of the analysis. We've been stalking this for a while. Go back and look at the previous videos. We've been eyeing this up. Massive level 1 consolidation. Expect price to come back. Retest. There's not much more to say about that guy. Euro NZD, much like Euro AUD, is doing the same thing. Retested the top of the ABCD structure. It's a level 3 riser at the minute. It could be really quite aggressive. We're previous highs all the way up there. So we are expecting price to get up there in high, low fashion. I also took this personally. I have a parallel group running called Melonstrade, which is my personal away from the regulated stuff. I said the signals is unregulated at the beginning, but if you know what I mean, Synergy is regulated, so it has to be careful in how it presents itself to the public. So on my Melonstrade website, we're actually talking in more detail in the community base about patterns and people's questions. And if you want to join it, directly message me or find it on Telegram at Melonstrade. Is that the way to do it? Yeah, anyway, Melonstrade, or it's on Twitter. You'll be able to find the link as well. So what I see here is a nice structure, a W structure. We've got high, 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 low, low, high, 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 low. And I'm anticipating the third. That's a really nice setup. Euro USD. We took this long. We took this little move here, which is nice. It was the final high. I did question it for a while, my sanity around it. This is level one rise. We've got a nice stop hunt at the lows of level one, the safety trade, higher high, waiting for that higher low. Not much more to say about that. GPAD, again, beautiful pattern. Level one, level two, higher highs, higher lows, off the 50. Much like Euro AUD and Euro Enter D, that is a top looking structure, trading in the direction of the trend. Absolutely missed this. Beautiful trade. So I now need to wait for the break retest situation of the previous high, which I'll do so with a reminder above it. So it's all about having a bit of organization as well, guys. Don't get me wrong, I'm not the best trader on earth, far million, billion miles from it, but I can certainly get around the chart, and I am profitable, and hopefully you've seen that through some of the trades that you're receiving. Okay, GBP CAD, traded this as well. ABCD complete, retesting the ABCD. What have we got here? This is level two consolidation. Not always so easy to see, and we need a retest. So lots of CAD pairs need to retest. This guy, GBP CHF, is level one consolidation. Let's have a look what's going on. So we've broken structure here. We have broken structure. There could be something materializing here, but it's not quite ready yet, so we pass. GBP USD, let's see, excuse the yawns. GBP USD, what are you saying? GBP USD looks absolutely scary and horrendous on this time frame. You've got level one, level two on the monthly. And down here, well, to be fair to you, we've already completed that peak. It just looks worrying. Looks like it can fall off a cliff to me. Trade off the 50, could make a lower move. But back to the chart. Let's see what we've got. So we did trade this long. Let's have a look on the 4 hour. Nothing really, guys. There's nothing for me here. So I'm just waiting till something happens. NZD CAD. Nice, it's made a break of the highs. That's the second high, 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 low. We're looking to anticipate the third now. Change. Great. This looks interesting to me. I'm waiting on it. Okay. NZD USD is much like AUD USD. It has made an important move here. This is one and this is two. And for me, it's a little bit tricky to work out. It looks simple enough, but there's a little bit. So we've made the structure here. You can see the W, first zone, second zone. The only thing I could think that they're trying to do here is make this W structure. So that's what I'm looking for. Once they start doing that, I know that I've got them. Once I start seeing the structure and the context where we are in the market cycle, I think I have an edge on them. But you have to be patient. And if we have a look where we are, this is level one and this is level two. We do expect a retest of the ascending trend line. And this would be that play, so a counter trend one. Moving on, let's have a look at these cryptos. Look at Ripple, absolute monster, right at the previous monthly highs. I wish Stellar could be the same, said for it, but it's not there yet at all. So gold being slightly corrective looking, difficult chart. The only way I see it is on the month, where you have this level one, level two, you've got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is the third month up. That's looking like enough for me. You've had enough of a run. So yeah, we shall see. Silver is always fantastic. I'm waiting for the month to close. And this is absolutely perfect for an aggressive move higher. It's so perfect. It's crazy. But the month has to close first. If I look on the daily, it's amazing. Amazing setup. This is one of the setups for the week, but it's going to be a late entry unless I can spot something on the retracement. So I'm going to be on this like an absolute hawk this week. This is an incredible opportunity. So Moving on, here comes Stella. Stella doing nothing, but what is it creating here? It's high, 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 low, high, 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 low. Is it going to give us a 3 and a whop and a get going? Maybe. You definitely got a W structure, trap, false, and the same thing here. You've got the V bottom, slight level one, high, 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 low. This is internal structure, high, 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 low. Yeah, promising, but if we have a look on the huge daily chart, massively more come back onto itself. But we have engaged with the 50, which is good. We've got some doji candles showing slight indecision. But if you have a look at the gain, it was a 600 gain to where we are now is 200%. And if you have a look at Ripple in context, you will notice that that isn't correct information because that's saying 3 years ago. I remember before this kicked off, Ripple was about 90p. Where was it? It's about here, 94, 93. So that's, to be fair to it, only up 160%. So, you know, it's all relative. Have a look at the indices here, US500. So we've come back and clattered into the 50, which is acting as support at the moment. What do I make of this whole move? Well, we can use Harmonics to show us the guiding sort of light on it all. And it's showing us that is an incredible bloody harmonic pattern. Jesus Christ, look at that. That's just insane. Why didn't I see that? Why didn't I take it? That's just absolutely stupendous. I have to take a screenshot of that because it's silly and send it to my doubting Thomas mate. That's that. So expecting always with these harmonics, you can always expect point D to get hit. Sorry, this is A, B, C, D. Always point B to come back down here for a full reset of the trend. And that's 4,800. So a potential long way down to go. Let's have a look. We could push on because we've hit the 50 and we could push back to the highs though at the same time. But the market is in a bit of a problem. But that same ABCD hasn't quite met here. May get a kick on after this other ABCD off the, let's have a look at you, off the high. Big structure A, B, C, D, but I don't like it. It's not symmetrical enough. You've got to look for the best patterns. USD CAD. We took some USD CAD. Did we trade it? We definitely traded it. We definitely traded this, and it was an amazing trade, but came all the way back to entry. Trade is still live. So we got the change. I want to see a bit more structure develop on this guy, but we do have this one open as well. And then last but not least, we have the NASDAQ. But we do have this one open as well. And then last but not least, we have the NASDAQ. I think NASDAQ is a contender for a long, and I think you're going to potentially see this one do well this week. Looking for that sort of thing. There's the W retest. This is the top setup. So there you are, guys and girls, whoever's watching, if anyone watches. Let's have a look at my US dollar. US dollar, a bit of a curving bottom off the 800. There has to be some sort of reaction higher here, aggressive sell-off. There you have it, folks. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, reach out. As I mentioned in the video, there is a Melonstrade Telegram group, which is proving very popular. So do please join if you have any interest in this subject matter. And I wish you all the best. See you next week. Thank you.